I want to give you a little bit of business feedback. Some of the Saints have sent over some designs for jerseys. And anything you do, if you're spending money and you're expecting to make money, I consider that a business, in fact, a product-based business. So let me give you some meaningful feedback. Number one, if you haven't taken my course called How to Create a Product-Based Business with $500 or less, you need to take it. One of the chief things we talk about in that are which industries to avoid. There are certain product categories that are not worth going into business. Fashion is one of them. Highly recommend against it. And I'll explain why in the course. In addition to that, there are some discussions on branding and brand and what's going to sell better. So I'll give you a little taste right now. So number one, these are the 3 samples that were created. So I'll give you a point for getting the brand color. So our brand colors at Assassin are red, black, white. So all 3 of these garments respect the brand colors. This one has the highest number of brand colors, but generally speaking, less is more, which is to say, it's usually best to go with 1 color, maybe 2. 3, you're usually pushing it. And so of these 3 garments, which is most likely to sell? This one, because it's base black, majority black. Black is very neutral. This one is majority red. Red is very loud, it's very bright. There's a lower number of persons who will wear a base red color. Then with this one, it's 3 colors. And because it's 3 colors, that makes it harder to match with your outfit, right? So that's not going to be helpful. Here's another piece. I want you guys to really remember this. This is some branding and marketing tips. So number one, there's 2 logos here. They have the Saint in the Center image logo, which I think looks pretty good here. I really do. Then they also additionally have the Assassin S, which mind you we've updated, but that's not your fault. That's all me. But they have the Assassin S, which I consider more of a text logo, even though it is in fact not spelling out anything. Then in addition to that, they have Assassin written out. And what's worse is that they chose this font, which is an absolutely terrible font because it's hard to understand. If I didn't know that this said Assassin, I'd have not the foggiest idea that that's supposed to be an S. I don't know what letter that is. I can make that out as an A. Being that these 2 are connected, it looks like maybe it's an M. M for Mike. But the font, terrible. Then it has this right here. I'm presuming maybe that's the jersey company, like the manufacturer's logo or the logo of the jersey. So of the 3, which looks best? I don't know. I usually try them on and look in the mirror just to be certain, but I'll tell you what I am partial to. I'm partial to this base because it's black in terms of selling it. I would never put lines contradicting one another. These lines are like perpendicular. I think it's just too much. Generally, I want the lines to go in the same direction, but this is not a pinstripe suit. This is a jersey, so I'd probably have these blank black, plain black. That would sell the best. I clean up the logo here. I don't play baseball. I'm not super into baseball. I don't know if they have the jersey number on the front or on the back, who knows, but I limit what I have here. So I have 1 logo, being that we already have some text here, I'd use the image logo. I remove the text logo. I'd use a clean font that's readily recognizable. Also, know this, Assassin itself is a brand. There's a brand font. There's a brand identity. You must use the brand font. I remove this 100% because nobody knows what it is. This one actually looks really good. Now, me personally, as an individual, I'd rather wear this one. It's a little bit louder, a little more sauce, but that's more reflective of my personality. I'm aware that as an individual, I don't represent common taste. I mean, look at my wallpaper, right? Nobody has wallpaper anymore. Look at my lights. Nobody has chandeliers. That's probably not because they don't want them. But the point is this, I don't represent average taste. I'm aware of that. Because I'm aware of that, I utilize surveys. I get market feedback. I never try to rely on what I think. I also don't trust what people around me think. Why? They might be lying on purpose. They might be lying on accident. Might be subconscious. Might be your mom. Might be your girlfriend. Might be your wife. Might be your daughter, and they want you to feel good. So, for example, a young lady said, "Oh, I like your jersey." That meant nothing to me. It meant nothing. Why? She might just like it because I'm wearing it, right? She might like it because she thinks I made it. So you can't trust that as market feedback. Or she could be tacky as hell. You hear me? Like, it's all sorts of explanations. So the fact of the matter is that you need to be a little bit sharper. What I want you to tell you guys, there's some mistakes that you'll make just because of you don't have the experience in business and in fashion and in marketing in terms of the two logos visible at the same time. That's a common mistake that anyone can make. Breaking the branding of this and also using a text style that is not readable, anyone can make that mistake. You're probably looking for it aesthetically. However, you know, the contrasting lines, those are instincts that someone in the fashion business who's meant to be in the fashion business, they might instinctively know not to do that. You see what I'm saying? So you really want to be in the industry that's suitable for your mindset, your skill set, your level of taste, things like that. Like, don't do things just because it's doable. Don't do it because it's doable. Do it because you have a unique talent, you have a unique interest, and here's a good sign of when to do something. People keep telling you, oh bro, you drift out. Oh, like you can't go anywhere without people being like, man, you're cold. That might give you a sense that you have style. If people are not telling you that you are cold, like at least 10 times a week, you ain't cold. Straight up, you ain't cold like that. So anyways, in terms of fit, we always have to think about fit. This is a medium. It fits really beautifully aesthetically. On the back, it's a little tight, but I know that my back is a little larger than most people's back just because of the nature of the exercises I do for boxing. Your muscle tends to go to your back, so I'm aware of that. So I think this is a perfect medium, very beautifully sized garment. Well done on that one. I like that the buttons are black on both garments. And it's a breathable garment. I think it can go well selling in both seasons. And I think that, you know, this one looks kind of cool. I kind of want to put it on. The more I look at it, the more I'm becoming partial to it. With a few tweaks, it can be okay. But let's look at the back. Boom. So then you have the number again. I don't know if this is typical in baseball. I go with whatever is standard in that industry. And then it says Triton, which is probably the brand of the manufacturer, and I wouldn't want that on my garment. I tell them to not put that on. Maybe these are just samples. See what we got here. So, and another thing you want to be mindful of is consistency, right? Simplicity and oneness. Keep it simple. Oneness, simplicity and oneness. Are you using one font? This is one font. Was the font on the front the same font? No, it was a different font. These are things you want to think about for consistency. I like that you guys did it all capital. I think that looks good. And frankly, like the back of this jersey, I think it's beautiful. Thank you. The back of this jersey is beautiful because it's simple. It's simple. You got one word, all caps, clear, clean text. You got the number. This logo is almost not visible at all. This one's barely visible. So it's a very clean shot. That looks beautiful. Same thing with this one. It doesn't look too bad. But for some reason, I'm a little more partial here. And I think it's because of this number, whether this is a 1 or a 7. I don't know. Again, it's the fonts. Is it a 1? Is it a 7? Who knows? But this one is filled in. This one has a border with an empty space. I just don't like it very much. But you asking, would Marquett, should I do a product like this? You know what? I don't think this can be printed on demand, so that's good. You know, that makes it a little bit more difficult for people to steal what you're doing, I suppose. Or maybe it is print on demand. I'd have to check, but I don't think it is last I looked at it. So it could be interesting. Me personally, I wouldn't wear baseball jerseys, but that's fine. You can market this to people who are younger. Maybe folks who are aged 20 to 30 might like a product like this. But definitely clean up those items I mentioned. And you might have something here, but again, I don't recommend fashion, but nothing wrong with practicing in this industry. Comments, questions, thoughts below.